Right now at 6, local volunteers answer the call after Hurricane Milton carves a deadly path of destruction.
So I don't know what I'll be encountering, but I think eager to go and to help.
Also tonight, new questions after a double shooting that left 2 alleged robbers dead and a cannabis store worker behind bars. Plus,
Jesse, you're under arrest, Portland police. Put your hands up, Jesse.
What newly released body cam video reveals about a police shootout involving a suspect, authorities say, with a history of violence. And later, why Portland's leaders appear to be leaning toward renovating the Keller and building something new.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm David Mulco. We begin at 6 with that newly released police body cam video showing a shootout between officers and a robbery suspect in Northeast Portland. That suspect survived and is now charged with attempted murder. Investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi has been reviewing the video and joins us in the newsroom. Kyle?
And first, we should warn you the video may be hard to watch, but it provides unique perspective through police body cam video, which is relatively new for Portland police.
Thursday, September 26th, 6:19 p.m. Bodycam video shows Portland police approach a robbery suspect in the area of Northeast 17th and Bryant Street. Officers from the specially trained CERT team try to box in the suspect's Subaru. 24-year-old Jesse James West tries to get away, but his car gets stuck.
Jesse, put your hands up! Put your hands up! You're under arrest!
West, who is under investigation for several violent crimes, including an armed carjacking-style robbery earlier in the day, police say, refuses to comply after repeated commands from officers.
You're under arrest, Jesse. Under arrest. He's in the back seat. Jesse, you're under arrest. Portland police. Put your hands up, Jesse.
Seconds later, an officer fires 3 less than lethal rounds toward the suspect's car.
40, 40, 40.
Then a shootout. Police and the suspect trade gunfire. The suspect fired 6 rounds at police, according to investigators. In exchange, 3 different officers fired a total of 30 rounds, say police, hitting the suspect. A wounded West cooperated with police, say investigators, and was sent to the hospital. In his car, investigators found a 9mm handgun and shell casings, according to prosecutors. No officers were injured. On Wednesday, West appeared in court using a wheelchair. He pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder.
The 3 officers who fired their weapons will remain on administrative leave, which is standard protocol following an officer-involved shooting.
Kyle Aboshi in the newsroom. Thank you, Kyle. To Florida now, where officials say at least 13 people are confirmed dead a little more than 24 hours after Hurricane Milton roared ashore on the Gulf Coast south of Tampa Bay as a monster Category 3. Nearly 3 million customers are without power tonight after the storm battered the state with wind, tornadoes, storm surge, and extremely heavy rain. Downtown St. Petersburg saw some of the worst damage, the wind toppling construction cranes and this ripping the roof off Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays. We have live team coverage. Celine Stevens tracking the Red Cross response, including local volunteers now headed to Florida. But first to Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino with a look at the storm's incredible impact. Matt?
Yeah, David, St. Pete and Sarasota got hit a lot harder than Tampa itself because of their locations being a little bit farther south. This is it. That's the remains of Milton right now, which is, thankfully way out to sea, not even bothering the Carolinas, maybe some high surf. There are some showers over the Florida peninsula, but nothing big there. So let's check out some of these rainfall totals, which are just really unbelievable. St. Pete had over 5 inches of rain in 1 hour. For perspective on that, most of our monthly average rainfall in Portland is less than 5 inches. Only November, December, and January get more than that. So just an incredible amount for 1 hour. For 24 hours, nearly 20 inches of rain, 18.87 at St. Petersburg. Tampa had about a foot of rain. Daytona Beach on the east coast of Florida had nearly 10 inches of rain. And in the middle, Orlando with 6.87 inches of rain. So, the soil in Florida obviously is very sandy. It can absorb water very, very well. but not when you get that much that fast. And that's one of the reasons why we had inland flash flooding along with the coastal storm surge flooding that we've been talking about. Now, let's talk about the tornadoes. Now, this didn't happen yesterday. That most of them were the day before, and centered along the East Coast here, over 38 different tornado reports or tornado touchdowns. These tropical tornadoes tend to be weaker with hurricanes, but these were not. These were big, they were strong, they were long lasting, and did a ton of damage there. Now, other reports for you. These are all wind reports and storm surge reports. Highest storm surges were upwards of about 10 feet south of Tampa Bay in this stretch between Fort Myers and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got really lucky. Had that storm gone inland just a little farther north, the greatest surge would have been right up into the big metropolitan area. David?
Just staggering in so many spots. Thank you, Matt. Let's bring in Celine Stevens now. Celine, in many spots, this is a 1-2 punch with folks really still recovering from the previous hurricane.
David, exactly, that's right. And over 60 Red Cross volunteers have deployed to the southeast following Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene. But now even more volunteers are needed, and tomorrow the Red Cross will hold a training session to try and recruit more people who are willing to help out.
We have about 1,900 people on the ground right now, and they are looking to almost double that.
That number represents the total number of Red Cross volunteers across the country, helping people with the aftermath of destruction from Hurricane Helene and now Milton. Over 60 of them from here in the Pacific Northwest. Still, Red Cross's Priscilla Fuentes says they need more volunteers.
Last night, the American Red Cross and our partners sheltered over 80,000 people in response to Hurricane Milton. We recognize that there's a lot of people that are also going to continue coming to our shelters after we wake up and see the devastation that's been caused by Hurricane Milton.
Derek Chin is one of those on the way to help, landing in Miami Friday. It's his first time being deployed, and he's excited, although a little nervous too.
I don't know what I'll be encountering, but I think eager to go and to help, recognizing there are a lot of people who have been impacted. There are folks who are going through a tough time, maybe a situation they've never faced before.
Friday, the Red Cross will host a volunteer training event at their Portland location with a goal of informing and gaining new recruits.
It's a one-day opportunity. You get everything you need to know and all the information and training that you need, and then you can get on a plane and go and help people.
If people can't volunteer, financial and blood donations are always welcome, especially given many blood drives were forced to cancel due to the hurricanes.
But go in with a good attitude. Go in with the mindset knowing that you're going to get to help people. And I guess helping people is the focus. I think that's why people are headed out.
Volunteers on the ground help with all kinds of disaster response, including operating the shelters, providing resources like food and water, reunification efforts, and more.
They may or may not know that they've lost everything, and they're just looking for some ray of hope, and you get to be that person for them. And it is probably one of the most rewarding experiences that you could ever imagine.
That training will take place at their Portland office at 3131 North Vancouver Avenue. It will go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and anybody interested can either sign up online or just show up. David, back to you. The
power of people, and we all have a part to play. Thank you, Celine. Stay with KGW for continuing coverage of the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. You can find the very latest on air, online at KGW.com, and on our streaming app that is KGW+. In your headlines, hospitals here in the Northwest and across the country are preparing for a potential shortage of IV and dialysis fluids after Hurricane Helene knocked a North Carolina facility offline. CNN reporting Baxter International Site near Asheville has resumed production, but it is limiting orders to 60% of normal volume. Locally, Providence, OHSU, Peace Health, and Legacy Health Systems tell KGW they are not experiencing shortages and they have adequate backup supplies. Though Providence said it is conserving its supply and using alternative fluids and solutions as appropriate. OHSU says it's also using oral hydration instead of IVs when possible. In Sweet Home, officials have declared a water quality state of emergency as reservoirs that supply the city's drinking water are set to be drawn down next week. A court ordered the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to draw down upstream reservoirs, including Green Peter Lake, to help the Upper Willamette Spring Chinook, a federally protected endangered species. The first drawdowns happened last fall, causing high water turbidity that degraded quality and caused some wells to go dry. The emergency will help the city get quicker access to state or federal resources to deal with water quality issues. And in Southeast Portland, a man is facing a slew of charges after a bag labeled, as you see, definitely not a bag of drugs turned out to be, yes, full of drugs, authorities say, and more. Portland police say they stopped the car Tuesday night after it had been reported stolen. Inside, they spotted the bag, which they decided was suspicious. And when they opened it, police say they found meth, fentanyl, scales, cash, and a loaded revolver. They arrested 35-year-old Reginald Reynolds, who's now facing drug and stolen vehicle charges. Another person in the car was booked, though, had the charges against her dropped.
Truck 22, Meg 340, police starting stage on Parade 2, EMS 2 for a shooting at Lamona Dispensary.
That is the voice of an emergency dispatcher sending authorities to the scene of a shooting at a North Portland pot shop where authorities say an employee shot and killed a pair of alleged robbers. Is now facing charges of second-degree murder. John Adams is live outside the Multnomah County Courthouse downtown where the suspect made his first appearance. John, what are you learning?
David, Jason Steiner appeared briefly before a Multnomah County judge today and entered a plea of not guilty. Now, the 34-year-old was an employee at Lamona Cannabis on North St. Louis Street in Portland. Police say on the night of October 3rd, 3 people were trying to rob that location when Steiner opened fire, killing 2 of them. They have been identified as 20-year-old Tahir Burley and 18-year-old King Lawrence. Both of those men are from Milwaukee. Steiner turned himself into authorities on Wednesday after being charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. We're also looking at 911 dispatch audio from the night of the shooting. This is what could be heard just minutes after the call originally came in.
Did you do any updates on that shooting?
We still have our call taker online with the caller. The caller was an employee who shot all 3 people who were trying to rob him at gunpoint. Police should be there shortly.
We have also learned through court records that Steiner was previously convicted on multiple charges, including unlawful use of a weapon for an incident that happened in 2021. He hit multiple vehicles with his truck, including the unmarked car of a Multnomah County detective. That incident took place after Steiner was fired from a cannabis store in Wood Village, and Steiner is still on probation from that incident and was ordered by a judge to take anger management classes. His next court appearance for this case will be on October 18th. David?
John Adams reporting downtown. Thank you, John. Straight ahead at 6, call it the best of both worlds. Portland City Council finally making a decision of sorts on the future of the Keller. Stay with us. That's next.